From the creators of arguably the best first-person Fallout game, New Vegas, comes one of my absolute favorite RPGs in recent memory. The Outer Worlds, developed by Obsidian Entertainment, is an absolutely gorgeous game featuring tons of zany and wacky characters. I mean, just look at this guy. He's a moon lightbulb hybrid with a top hat and a severe personality disorder. I mean, just listen to him.
Through 6 years of vendor school, only to make him wear this hat.
Why don't you take off the hat?
Even if my contract didn't forbid it, I think it's part of me now.
It offers a journey through fields of alien corn on the cob bushes and tentacle shrubs that would make even the most hardcore of hentai fans blush. The alien environments are truly stunning, from the noxious and severely inhospitable wilds of Monarch to the breathtaking skies of Terra 2, where Aurora Borealis meets active volcanoes. And then there's these guys. They're pigs that grow massive growths that corporations then process into meat products. Tumor sausages, anyone? The world Obsidian has created is filled with these parallels between the grotesque and the serenely beautiful. The premise of the story is that Cascadia, a colony of settlements in a new star system, is populated by corporations that take a very hands-on approach to literally everything people say and do. It's a corporate dystopia of hilarious proportions, outfitted with oh so very many things that can kill you, like pools of green jello acid, to fiery geysers that you definitely can't swim in, electric space canyons you shouldn't go spelunking in, and of course a population of mindless killer space people with laser flamethrowers. Rivers that'll drown... Wait, seriously? This is where you draw the line? I can literally dissolve myself in lava or acid, but don't go in the river. In fact, you're not even allowed to touch the water. It must be filled with rogue nanobots that will reorganize your atomic structure into baloney or something. That's enough of the history lesson. This is a challenge run after all. We'll be playing on hard difficulty and the rules are as follows. I can only use the shovel as a means of damaging enemies. No other weapons, period. That's it. Nice and simple. For those of you thinking, what's so hard about using a shovel? People kill people with shovels all the time. Oh, you just wait. Shovels are bad. Real bad. As far as attributes go, I go all in on intelligence because you need to think good to do good killing with shovels. Also strength, because shovels are probably heavy. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what's going to get us through this run, so I'm really just shooting from the hip here. What sort of temper does my character have? Probably a bad one, because he beats people to death with shovels. That makes sense, right? Oh, and I also won't be recruiting any companions, at all. Enough with this technical crap, this is a shovel run, it's not rocket science. I give my character the red eyes of a demon plucked straight from shovel hell and make him as old as death itself. To symbolize the inner turmoil of this character's damaged psyche, we give him a grotesque scar, accompanied by a beauty mark that might as well be some sort of skin tumor. Also, his face is covered with the soot from some freshly charred corpses. We then give him a ratty old mullet that's maniac in the front and nightmare demon in the back. A moldy, swampy-looking goatee completes the look, truly the stuff of nightmares. We name our abomination after a lesser-known Disney dwarf, Psycho the Dwarf. This secret 8th dwarf was exiled from the mine after a series of unfortunate accidents wiped out all of dwarf civilization, leaving only himself and the 7 dwarves featured in the movies. Bet you didn't know that the reason they're called the 7 dwarves is that they're the only 7 left in existence. We awake from being a frozen turnip for 70 years to find this crazy old space grandpa abducting us from our long nap with his grabby robot arm. After sticking us in the microwave for 48 hours on defrost, he rather unceremoniously launches us out into space.
Good luck!
We somehow survive being sent hurtling towards some random planet in a tin can, and find out that our impact was softened by the meat and bones of some smuggler or whatever. Now this is how Psycho the Dwarf wants to wake up every morning, stepping out of a metal coffin onto the freshly squeezed bloody pulp of his most recent victim. We don't get a moment to shake off our multi-decade hibernation hangover because it's time to hijack the Squish Guy's ship. Turns out the ship is possessed by a red computer demon who, after threatening to murder us, senses a kindred spirit in us and tells us we need a spaceship battery or something to make the ship work. Before we even get a chance to pick up a weapon we can use, this corporate narc gives us a parking ticket for allegedly double parking our useless metal bucket on a handicap spot in the middle of an abandoned dirt field. We can't smash her to pieces yet since we don't have a shovel. She also apparently has the power to phase in and out of existence because I don't see her anywhere close to me. We ditch the narc and head to the closest cemetery and finally equip ourselves with the tool that is going to help us destroy the galaxy. The shovel. The biggest problem with the shovel is its durability. It's bad. For example, the impact hammer, a very basic low-level melee weapon, has 3000 durability, and the shovel has 750. So it's got roughly a fourth of the durability of a normal starter weapon. And while it degrades, it does radically less and less damage to the point where at 0 durability, it probably does less damage than you would if you were simply slapping the target with your bare hands. I'm guessing, as this game doesn't let you fight unarmed, or to ever be unarmed in the first place. You can never completely unequip all weapons so that you have none. Why? Ask Todd. Wait, Todd didn't make this one. Well, I guess ask no one, because I don't know the names of the people responsible for this game. We make our way to the self-proclaimed king of this dumpy space town, who wears a crown that resembles a dirty old bolo hat. This nice lady, who's pretty much everyone's favorite character in this game, is about to tell us where to get a new space battery when the douche face interrupts her. Apparently the space battery is powering the town or some crap, so the king of the space dump says we should go steal a battery from some poor old grandma instead. On our way to steal from the grandma, we test out our weapon in combat. The first battle goes reasonably well, but I accidentally detonate a box of rocket fuel that blows up everyone but me, so it wasn't really a fair test. Round 2 goes notably worse, as my only 2 options against range foes is to run away or charge. I compulsively loot this box in the middle of combat and predictably die. Thankfully, the commercials in this game offer some needed comic relief in between deaths. Doesn't that just make you want to rush to the closest space vending machine and gobble down some pig tumors? This battle sequence shows just how devastating low durability is to this weapon. Our damage has already decreased from a measly 7 damage per swing to 4 until... This little red icon denotes that my shovel is completely broken and my damage falls to exactly 1 damage per swing. On our way to repair our weapon, we beat the narc who tried to fine us earlier to death with our spare shovel. It takes 15 weapon parts to repair a shovel from 6 to 100% durability, and I get somewhere between 1 and 4 weapon parts from scrapping weapons. I really don't like this math. Now we get to hear the old lady's argument for why Mr. Dirty Bolo Hat is bad, and why we should pick her dump of a town over Crapville. Turns out Mr. King of the Trash Pit had hoarded all the flu shots for himself, thinking that injecting the entire town's supply into his arm would give him godlike powers. That kind of thinking is dangerous, because this galaxy is only big enough for one irrational psycho, and that's the dwarf. Anyway, it's off to the power plant to reroute the power away from one of the trashy towns, so we can finally get a space battery and get off this rock. This place has state-of-the-art security. A laser gate that looks real zappy, and a moat filled with microscopic crocodiles that's over half an inch deep. These defenses would be impossible to penetrate if there wasn't a conveniently located hole in the wall right next to the gate. The robots in this game are no joke though, as they're highly resistant to physical damage. We can probably only take down 1 or 2 before my weapon becomes entirely useless. Since my damage is so low, I get easily surrounded and taken down. I resort to sneaking in, but quickly get discovered and rush my way in instead. Having learned from our mistakes, we sneak our way past the roadblocks. Unexpectedly, we run into Steve Higgins, so this is what he does in between tapings of The Tonight Show. He hides from killer robots in the basement while eating space rats. Oh. Crazy Space Higgins tells us we can reprogram the laser vending machines to start shooting each other. This makes our journey much easier and we reach the terminal where we can reroute the power away from one of the settlements. As I was deeply moved by Grandma's stories, and Psycho the Dwarf was majorly jealous of Mr. Bolo Hat's depravity for having stolen a whole town's supply of medicine, we choose Space Grandma. Oh, we also found out that Grandma was using human corpses to make apple trees grow, and that's just the kind of thinking Psycho the Dwarf wants in his new space empire. We return to King Garbage to find that he's not very happy with our decision to leave his dumpster without power. We promptly end his pathetic reign of terror with our trusty shovel. His cronies guarding the spaceship battery prove to be a lot more formidable than their king, as they have proper weapons and armor instead of a bolo hat and dirty suit. It takes a couple of tries, but eventually I discover that one side of the room is completely unguarded, and you can just walk up to the battery and take it. We promptly sneak past the hordes of homeless trash people gathering in the streets of Garbage Town, and return the spaceship battery to the red computer demon, who treats us to this satisfying cutscene of us leaving this dump in our dust. Once we're safely away from the trash people in our rusty space bucket, the crazy old scientist guy reveals his plan. He's hungry and he wants to defrost more of my frozen vegetable friends so he can keep the galaxy from starving or something. To do this, we need to go to some forbidden moon called Monarch. Apparently we can't just fly there, we need a key to the space store that will let us land in the exact right place. I've swallowed my fair share of space baloney, but even I have a hard time understanding why we can't just fly our space bucket there directly. Spaceships fly through space. Why can't I just fly the damn ship? You know what, whatever. Tediously, we have to buy the planet key or whatever from this old crone. She tries to charge us a ridiculous amount of money, so I opt to beat her to death and rob her corpse. Disappointingly, she doesn't have the planet key on her when she dies, but she does have some other item that apparently moves the story forward anyway. Remember that guy we landed on at the very beginning of the game and turned into a red pile of mush? Well, apparently he had a ginger boyfriend who works for the space government, and he's very curious why we're flying around in his boyfriend's ship. Yeah, I wish I could take credit for that homicide, but I was really just along for the ride when he got smashed into bloody bits by some crazy scientist who tried defrosting me by orbitally bombarding the middle tin can I used to live in right into your boyfriend's face. So, bad luck there, I guess. Turns out that the temperature of the space station we've landed on is rapidly increasing and is going to become a suitable crock pot that'll cook everyone on it. As to not give the crazy scientist who wants to eat my friends any ideas, I decide to help the world's laziest space station captain here fix her heating problems. On our way to find the space air conditioner she needs, we meet Red Mohawk Rick here from Rick and Morty.
A neighbor from above approaches our realm. Back away now, or you'll parley with the king.
Hey, were you in that Mad Max parody episode they did? Uh-oh. Apparently his part was cut. Run! Quickly now! Since we're severely underleveled and undergeared for this side quest and the rest of the game, really, which is why we so badly need to get experience, I have to opt for a hit-and-run approach to beat these guys. I discover that I can hide in this vent here, run out, smack Mohawk Rick, and run right back to safety while my health regens. Then I can safely sneak back and activate my Matrix mode to deal plenty of damage, rinse and repeat until most of the vent people are dead. Reject Rick goes down like a sack of potatoes. These dingbats do have an Optimus Prime on their team. As we went over earlier, robots are super resilient to physical damage, and the Optimus Prime is scary in terms of health and damage. Psycho the Dwarf may be homicidal, but he's a coward at heart, so we sneak past. We collect the air conditioner part that looks suspiciously like a glowing space dildo and return it to Captain Lazy Pants. Turns out Lazy Pants can't be bothered to go turn on the air conditioning either, and we have to go fight our way past some fire-breathing worms to go turn it on for her. On our way there, we acquire a flaw. A flaw is a permanent debuff that you can elect to take on in exchange for an extra perk point. This is definitely something we want to do with this build, as getting to 10 perk points is absolutely essential. Why? You'll see. Also, the perk Nietzsche's Reward increases our damage by 5% per flaw, and we can have as many as 4 flaws per character. Psycho the Dwarf is a cowardly murderer who certainly has plenty of flaws to go around. Finally, we finish this dumb quest, turn on the AC, we go back to Captain Lazy. She's happy, she got her space dildo back, and we're happy because we won't get cooked alive. The one complaint I do have about this game is the sheer amount of dialogue you have to go through before an NPC will let you go do their quest. Kinda like 7 different dialogue prompts before this damn idiot would let me just get on with it. Ridiculous. Psycho the Dwarf does not do talking, he does smashing. Just shut up already. Remember that item we picked up from the dumb old lady we murdered that wasn't a planet key? Well, if we give it to the red demon, a hilarious distress signal plays. Listen.
There's viscera and death everywhere. Gunfire, gnashing teeth. The unemployed. For law's sake.
The guy with a serious phobia for the unemployed people leads us to Roseway, a colony that is slowly being devoured by the dinosaurs they decided to breed and imprison that have now escaped captivity to punish their captor's hubris. Wait, that plot sounds familiar. We meet up with the idiot in charge of this knockoff Jurassic Park, and he tells us to go to get his research from a secret lab. What are they researching using rabid space dinosaurs? Quick. Imagine the dumbest and most nonsensical thing someone could be researching using dinosaurs. Wrong. It's even dumber than that. Stay tuned. We head over to the secret lab, and this dickish bald guy tells us there's some criminals in the secret illegal laboratory that we have to go kill. Also, there's dinosaurs all over the place. Will he help us kill the bad guys?
Can't risk it.
Will he help us kill the dinos?
Can't risk it.
Will he give us a key to his office?
Can't risk it.
Will he not help us not do anything? He'd rather sit in the lobby forever than do anything about his situation. Classic NPC logic. In a thoroughly expected turn of fate, this ginger Asian-looking lady has stolen the top-secret dino research and won't give it back unless you let her out of her cage she managed to get herself locked in. Oh, and she wants me to go roofie all the dinosaurs with raptor roofie gas, which I put into these conveniently located roofie vents. So I run around and pick up all the nerve gas and stick it in this computer, and all the dinosaurs go sleepy by. Being a ruthless psycho in dire need of experience points, I decide to beat these geckos to death while they're asleep. They're supposed to be roofied, they can't even fight back. Except, apparently murdering these guys in their sleep is a huge crime against the fabric of time and space in this game, as all of its friends somehow get unroofied and start chewing on my soft dwarven body. Sir, could you please aim that comically oversized rifle at the raptors currently chewing on my butt? I guess not. What a douche. The ginger Asian now wants me to go get the key to her cage from Mr. Unhelpful Baldy from before. To everyone's astonishment, Baldy won't help, so we decide to give him the beatdown of a lifetime. Oh, crap. My shovel's busted. Be right back. Gotta repair it. Taste my shovel, you unhelpful individual. Turns out we can just print out a key using this ancient Atari 2600. We stick the printout of a key into this lock and boom, cage open. But psych! She was never gonna give us the research because she's criminal scum, so we matrix her to death. If I had had a ranged shovel, I would have been able to do this without killing Mr. Baldy to get a key. Too bad ranged shovels are just a myth. We return the illegal research that the criminals previously illegally stole from the secret illegal laboratory that we took back by illegally murdering a bunch of people to this idiot with the criminally fantastic hair. And now for the big reveal. What was this dummy researching that got countless of people murdered by dinos and psycho dwarves? Diet toothpaste. Huh? That doesn't make a lick of sense. You aren't supposed to swallow toothpaste. Why would it need to be diet? Does it dissolve your teeth so that you physically can't eat, and therefore you starve to death and get slimmer? I have no idea, but all this death was definitely worth slightly whiter and skinnier teeth. Who am I kidding? Psycho the Dwarf would have murdered all these people for free. No extra incentive required. You know what they say, if you love your job, you don't have to work a day in your life. So, it turns out you can already land on Monarch without going to the old lady to get the planet key. So good thing I just killed her then. The only catch is that this landing spot is supposedly warning! Dangerous! Pfft. I'm a homicidal dwarf who's killed legions of dinosaurs with merely a shovel. What could possibly be a threat to me here? All we have to do is be really, really quiet. Oh god, an invisible wall. Oh god, oh god. No, 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 don't touch me, you slimy unemployed monsters! I shouldn't have killed that old lady, I should have just paid her for the planet key like the crazy scientist said I should. I regret everything! Bounce like a bunny, bounce like a bunny, bounce like a bunny and live! Oh, sweet Jesus, I can see it. Civilization! Oh my god, are there any people on this planet? Or did they all turn into lizard monsters? Save me, sweet loading screen! When we arrive in Stellar Bay, some old lady asks us to go find her son that's left the town and gone missing. Yeah, lady, your son is definitely dead. I mean, have you been outside? You can't walk 5 feet without tripping over an acid-spitting monster that wants to eat your insides for breakfast. We meet Ronald McDonald here, who's in the middle of some pretty standard drunken rambling.
Gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out.
That's great, lady. Turns out she can tell us where to find the space radio guy that we're apparently here to find for some reason. I generally have no idea why this guy is important, but at this point, who cares? Go there, find a guy, then go somewhere else. Anyway, she wants drugs, so we go ask this Bill Gates impersonator for some. Turns out she sold her last batch to some scientist, so we go pillage his corpse. McDonald gets high, and she gives us the location of the space radio man. We are in some serious need of experience points if we're going to be able to acquire the secret perk that will allow us to realize all of our homicidal dreams. So we pimp ourselves out to this tan Santa Claus. Repress the homicidal rage for now. Our time will come. Our time will come. There now. Shh, shh. Calm. Anyway, this guy asks us to find some documents so that he can blackmail the corporate overlords or something. Turns out the document is locked in with this idiot.
Hacks if you're lazy. I'm stuck.
Have you tried turning the doorknob?
Wait, upward? Only eternal.
Do you see what kind of idiocy I'm working with here? We grab the thing and return to Santa Dork. Hey Santa, you ever give away one of your kidneys for Christmas?
One of the executives required a transplant.
Man, that's messed up. Was it even the right size?
Apparently not.
Okay, good talk, Santa. Off to pimp ourselves out for some experience again. This lady with the incredibly stylish hat is missing one of her employees, and apparently he left town to try out a new trendy restaurant. So I go and ask the head waiter guy if he's seen him. Waiter boy gets all vague and creepy, so I ask this old pimplehead here, and he just stares at me blankly. Hey lady, why is everyone around here so creepy?
What a pleasant surprise.
Okay, that's not what I asked though. Could you...
The Eternal does not desire that we huddle and hide, crowded in by walls.
Well, that was a dead end. Hey you, suspiciously old-looking kid, could you help...
Liar!
Wait, what? I didn't say anything yet.
The ones that come in a bottle with a rocket ship on it.
What the hell is wrong with you people? I have half a mind not to leave a tip. Hey, what's behind this ominous-looking door? I really hope that's pasta sauce. That's it. That's the last straw. I specifically said no nuts on my order. Psycho to Psycho, I appreciate what you're doing here, but I got a galaxy to enslave, so... Okay, that's sharp. As much as I want to stick around and debate the flavor differences between dwarf and human meat, I'm gonna make a graceful exit. Well, I've had enough of cannibals for now. Time for a real mission. As it happens, this beanie guy here has found some creative uses for space rats. Turns out that their poop can contain syringes filled with heroin. Pretty lucrative stuff. I think they fed this guy a little too much heroin. Ooh, he's a big boy. Finally, we have a proper conversation with an NPC.
Ow! Oh, for the love of... I thought we were joking! If this swells shut, I swear I'll... Nothing. I am not gonna do nothing. Don't punch me again.
That really needs to be an option for all conversations in this game. On our way to the next village, we find the lost little kid we were asked to find. Turns out he's a 42-year-old man who can't stand up to his own mother and instead asks us to fake his death to avoid a spanking. So you want me to tell your mom that you're dead? That's pretty messed up. And that's coming from me, a psychotic dwarf.
I hate to think of her grieving, but it'll be good for her to move on.
Yeah, so your kid says he's dead or whatever, and you should stop looking for him.
What are you saying? That doesn't make any sense. Why would my little boy say that?
Look, lady, he's your dumb kid. You raised him to be a liar. He told me to give you this thing.
This was his daddy's ring. Tucker never takes it off, not even to bathe, and you're saying he gave this to you so I'd think he died? I need to think about this. I don't understand how it's all gone so wrong.
Aw, man. I kind of feel bad about this. Now, instead of thinking her son is dead, she knows he's a man-child who hates her. Jeez, I gotta make this right. How do I figure this out? His mom thinks he's a liar, so how do I make him an unliar? Oh, I know. I'll kill him for real. Then he's not lying anymore. You know, it feels really nice to do some good for a change. With our good deed done for the day, we proceed to the dummies in charge of this town. This bitter divorced couple or whoever.
A stranger comes to our home. If you're looking for a path to walk, you've found one. If you're looking for a teacher, I am one. Welcome to the
And I'm a psychotic dwarf. Do you need one of those?
I'm so tone deaf.
Well, that was uncalled for. I mean, true, but still. Anywho, Mr. Muttonchops here wants us to install some ink in a printing press so he can spam mailboxes across the galaxy with his propaganda. As usual, we don't care what the job is. We just want some of that sweet, sweet experience. I track the ink to this guy who's sporting a very familiar-looking bolo hat that awakens seething rage in the back of my mind. As a psychotic dwarf, my mind is always seething with something, so I don't really notice. Anywho, what's your deal, stranger?
It's busted. Pumping out gas. It ain't safe.
Okay, first of all, what's busted? You haven't told me anything yet. Also, this planet's atmosphere must be at least 25% acid-spitting monster morning breath. You expect me to believe you're here fixing an air safety issue?
What are you, a safety inspector?
What are you, a moron? I'm walking here!
Oh, whoops. I'll get right on that, boss.
That's it. I'm not sure why I always try to reason with people in this game. They're all belligerent jerks. Taste my spade. Hey, we got a limbo master over here. Fittingly, this chick from Splatoon has the ink, but she keeps getting locked into garages by thugs with bolo hats, so she's quitting her job as a black market ink dealer and becoming a model for face tattoos, or whatever that is all over her face. We tell Mr. Muttonchop that he's been cut off, and he sends us to go find his favorite robot mole person. The mole person won't go back to Muttonchops until we fix the propaganda factory. As per usual, the place is infested with tons of monsters, but thankfully monsters don't have hands and therefore can't open doors. How do they get in here in the first place? Nobody knows. We install the ink on the old Atari over here, and thankfully the lizards are deathly afraid of dial-up internet. On our way back to the mole people, we check on one of their lost mole friends, who is very much dead and very much being digested by those geckos. Appetizing. Not wanting to end up with the same fate, I run for my life and let the mole people with actual real weapons with bullets take care of the dinos. Man, I forget how cool some of the non-shovel weapons are in this game. When we return to Muttonchops and tell him his favorite pets are safe, I finally remember why we're helping him and Tan Santa Claus. Besides the experience, apparently the space radio is being jammed by those two ding-dongs broadcasting Nickelback and terrible slam poetry at all day, every day. And Space Radio Guy can't listen to his daily soaps or something. Anyway, who cares why anyone is doing what they're doing? We finally have enough experience that flipping this switch gets us to level 14. Now for the big reveal that you probably already Googled an answer to. The perk I have wanted this whole playthrough is this, Improvisation Warrior. It increases the damage of weapons that aren't actually weapons, like shovels, by 300% and decreases weapon degradation by 75%. Ho 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 ho! It's almost time to let our inner homicidal maniac shine. Before that, we go back to the sewing machine on our rusty space bucket and respec into 100 science skill, which as you'll see reduces the upgrading costs for weapons by 90%. Hold on to your butts because it's time for some technical talk. Unluckily, this game's upgrading system, known as tinkering, inexplicably has the dumbest possible upgrading cost system. Basically, the cost of upgrading any item from any level always starts out at a low cost, but then increases exponentially for each time you upgrade your weapon, regardless of what level your weapon started on. So, a weapon at level 1 costs just as much to upgrade to level 10 as a weapon that starts at level 20 costs to upgrade to level 30. The level of weapons and armor is largely determined by player level, so picking up a new weapon at a higher level allows you to bypass the insane costs. Generally, weapons bought from merchants and vending machines are scaled up as close to your current level as possible. However, improvised weapons always start at level 1, regardless of your character level, and regardless of if they're picked up off the ground, looted, or bought from a vendor. Believe me, I checked desperately. So, now you can see this mind-boggling system in action. I start with my level 5 shovel that I picked up at level 1 and upgraded earlier on, and see that the first upgrade from level 5 to level 6 totals 60 bits. However, since the upgrade cost doubles for each level upgraded, the cost quickly snowballs to 700 bits from level 9 to level 10 to a whopping 4,594 bits from level 12 to level 13. Had shovels scaled with character level like any other weapon, I would have been able to pick this weapon up at level 14, as that's my current level, and upgrading it to level 15 would have cost somewhere around 60 bits. But since all shovels start at level 1, the costs are very much higher. And remember, this is with 100 science, where tinkering costs are reduced by 90%. So that whopping single level upgrade from 12 to 13 at 4,594 bits would have cost 45,940 bits without 100 science. To put that into perspective, when I started upgrading my shovels, I had accumulated somewhere around 15,000 bits throughout my entire playthrough, and since I haven't bought new weapons, my spending so far has been minimal. This took all of my bits. And I didn't even upgrade my shovels fully. You can upgrade your weapon to 3 levels higher than your current character level, I believe. I ended at level 12 or 13 because I simply didn't have enough money. And remember, my character level is 14 at this point in time. Also, I upgraded a total of 3 shovels to about the same level, as durability does not increase with weapon level. So while I may have the Improvisation Warrior perk, my shovels are still pretty fragile, and I'll need to switch between them as they degrade. Well, that's more than enough math for me, so it's time to try out my new shovel power on some enemies. Damn, that was a pretty sweet double kill. Weak enemies like dogs and low-tier marauders die in one hit, and we do somewhere between 600 and 700 damage per hit. I think you know where this is going. That's right, revenge montage! Time to head back to the danger warning landing spot and get the shoveling. Hey Ugly, remember me from me running away from you earlier? Well, I'm the big boy now.
I'm the saber tool spitter, ever clear liquor, hurricane hitter when that burner flame flicker, body bag zipper, poppy cane flipper, probably aim quicker, yeah, the shotty brain splitter. I'm popping off a buckshot, yelling motherfucker. You lacking in the drug spot, I'm laughing when the snub pop. Cut him, watch his guts drop, blood on my truck stop. Get the truck spot, bring it back a thug's now. Got clappers for the dumb shots, rappers in my lunchbox. Dumb shots, dumb clocks, make these bug blocks. I'm the 8-name pain giver, K-bang brain splitter, Trey flame, bang bang, insane chain stripper, modern day chat ripper, carbon based rap spitter. I'm armor plate, you marmalade, razor blade to score your face, carvajate, copulate on it. Face. The harness hate to concentrate, keep me high and concentrate. Emulate 45 to center state, demonstrate. Let the 38 detonate his chest. I'm the saber tooth spitter, gritty face splitter. I'm the saber tooth spitter, dirty grave digger, gritty face splitter. 45 cal on the saber tooth spitter. I'm legendary lethal, llama let it free throw, bullet holes see through when.
Yeah, that's some good royalty-free rap music. Once we're done wiping out no more than 0.1% of this bug-infested planet's monster population, we head to where Space Radio Man is hiding. We find the place crawling with marauders, so we ask this old-timey air balloon racer what's going on. Hey man, aren't you supposed to be guarding this place or something?
Trying to say we didn't do our job? I'll have you know, our contract was to stop any marauders coming from the caves. Didn't say nothing about the ones taking them out. We'll simply clear them out later.
You know what? That's just one of the most psychotic explanations I've ever heard. I admire your spunk, good sir. I will spare your life this day. Something tells me the world is much worse off with people like you in it. Well, I guess if you need some people murdered right, you gotta murder them yourself. Even the robots crumple like cheap suits in the face of my mighty shovel. Excuse me. Pardon me. I said excuse me! When we get to Space Radio Man, he admits that he likes his walls covered in blood.
Never thought I'd be ecstatic at having the walls painted in blood, but seeing as it's not mine, I'd say this calls for a celebration.
That's something I can really get behind. I won't murder you just yet. We help him turn on his space radio, and this happens. Don't drink and space drive, folks, so we head on over to the wreck to see if we can pillage some valuable space garbage. We get treated to this hilarious final recording from my favorite dead space lady.
Hull head. I told him again and again that without fixing our regulators, spinning up the engines are going to blow through our coils and we'll go flying off in a completely random direction. Well, here we are, thinking we'll hit soil in about 30 seconds. This is your chief engineer signing off for what is probably the last time. It's a shame you can't see this middle finger I'm holding up, because I'm doing it as hard as I can.
Oh man, gotta love this game sometimes. Anywho, we pick up this valuable-looking space pine cone and head back towards Mutton Chops. Turns out both he and Tan Santa really want this pine cone because it'll grow into a giant space fir tree with machine guns and nukes or something. We carefully listen to their well-thought-out arguments as to who to pick. Mutton Chops, blow me away.
We are all part of the consciousness of the cosmos. Each of us plays a tiny role in the universe's continual journey toward You and I, and the rats and the mantis swarms. Divinity is in us all.
I don't get it. I don't have raptors inside of me. I have hate inside of me. Also, I'm pretty sure all of that raptor bacon and mantis swarm sausage is well out of my system by now. What about you, Beardo? Why is you best?
As if starving in the wilderness is somehow better than starving under corporate mismanagement. He won't hear reason now, and I wouldn't trust him again.
Starving is bad, but it's also good because it'll mean I won't have to listen to you idiots anymore. Both very well-reasoned arguments. So you won't trust Mr. Mutton Chops, but what about the semi-coherent one, the lady?
Well, it seems like she's actually very qualified.
Okie dokie, I gotta go fire Mr. Mutton Chops. I'm sure he'll be reasonable and won't lose his head.
Please. Don't make me do this, Graham.
If this is where my path ends, I accept it.
Ba-dum-ts. Hear ye! After long hours of hard negotiations and compromise, I hereby convene this peace council of the ever-victorious Shovel Empire. Lady with a cool name, you have the floor.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Well put. Short and to the point. Counterpoint, Tan Santa?
I wish I'd had more time to prepare a proper analysis.
Wish you had had more time. Interesting. Well, I think I've heard all I need to hear. You two will be co-idiots of this planet, so say I.
Thank you for brokering this arrangement.
Yeah. Here's hoping we don't come to regret this.
And so it came to pass. There would be peace on Monarch. Always remember that diplomacy is the only real way to keep peace in this galaxy. When rational minds come together, there's no limit to what can be achieved. What did a single one of those words even mean? Total bullsnatch. Everyone knows the only way to achieve peace in the galaxy is if everything except for me is dead. Time to die, everyone. I've been holding that in forever. Anyway, once peace officially reigns on Monarch, we return to Mr. Scientist Guy. Wait, what were we doing with you? Oh yeah, something about defrosting my fellow space vegetables. So he wants us to go to Byzantium, which is the capital city of the corporate overlords or something. In order to secure a VIP ticket, we talked to Ginger Boy, who I've left alive for some reason. He gave us a golden ticket to meet with the president of the corporate space army or whatever. I fly over to the general's personal space pad, and I enter a fortress that has a real totalitarianism vibe to it. I think I'm gonna like this president army lady. Turns out she's an iPad, and she tells us to go kill someone. Don't need an iPad to tell me to do that. Die, lady. Next. We plant a bug on Mr. Scientist Guy, and now General President Lady trusts us. So she shares with us the secret plan to save the galaxy. Pfft. As if this is going to be better than my I kill everything plan. But I'll hear you out.
Turn your eyes to the screen.
Good afternoon. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living. All of you will find yourselves violently unemployed. Fire whoever wrote this. There is nothing to worry about.
Bravo! Bravissimo! I mean, that was pretty much my plan, but he said it with such gravitas, such charisma. Okay, count me in, President Lady. What do I need to do?
Edgewater needs to go.
Say no more. I mean, they're already without power, so it's kind of fish in a barrel, really. This plan is so wonderfully psychotic.
No. Allowing thousands of colonists to starve to death because we couldn't make one cold-blooded decision is insane. What I'm suggesting is absolutely logical.
Ooh! The way you said that just gave me goosebumps. I knew I liked you. Turns out the robots in Edgewater have a kill everything around you switch, and we just need to go flip it, and we're done. Couldn't have designed it better myself. After some more psycho foreplay, I go and do just that. As enemies mostly just melt in front of me now, getting there is no issue when we turn on the Atari cartridge. What the Space General Lady forgot to tell us is that we have to go and mop up the robots after they're done murdering the whole town. Or maybe she did tell us, and I just got lost in those cold, dead eyes of hers. Ooh! Now that Edgewater is a ghost town filled with corpses of metal and meat, what's next, my homicidal queen?
I've made arrangements for you to journey to the Hope. You will board your former colony ship, reactivate its navigation systems, and skip the colony ship into orbit around Tartarus.
Launch a ship at some tartar sauce. Sounds reasonable. Just to make sure Mr. Science Boy doesn't have a better offer than Ms. Hannibal, I pop over to see if we can arrange a mutually beneficial double-cross. After exploring all of the available dialogue options, I conclude that this dude's mind simply can't comprehend my duplicitous genius, because he doesn't seem to care that I'm about to launch a giant space refrigerator through a pocket dimension and parallel park it between Uranus and a gas giant. Don't say I didn't give you a chance, Grandpa. When we arrive on the space fridge, this moron is no help at all, so we murder him. The robots here are real dumb, probably because they were built by the same idiots who built a giant space fridge, but no space microwave set to defrost. The red demon hacks into the fridge's GPS, and we tell her to take the wheel.
Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive.
Who cares?
And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain?
Step on it, baby. We make it over to planet Tartar and... oh no! The whole place has got a nasty case of gum disease. Oh, and they're rioting because Planet Space Cavity is a penal colony or something. Have no fear, Chevalier Joe is here. Once we've dealt with the violently unemployed, it turns out that Space Grandpa was the one who gave everyone gingivitis. Oh, and he kidnapped Miss Murder General and is threatening to blow her brains out or something. Hey man, I gave you a fair chance at a double cross. You blew it.
Say what you will, but I can't risk letting you interfere. The only thing worse than Halcyon collapsing is this psychotic monster living to see it happen.
Okay, love you, Grandpa. I'm gonna go break the giant killer robot you've unleashed. Yeah, so the last boss of the game is this guy, and he's no joke. He's got a whopping 24k health, and unless I hit him in the big blue canister filled with robot juice, then I only do like 1 to 200 damage per hit. But his bulk is not the real challenge in this fight. It's that he summons a whole crapload of adds with almost 2k health, and that do tons of damage. So I died. I died a lot. I died a lot to the adds, I died to his Gatling laser, I died a whole lot. Died, double died, died. Hey, look at that, I died again! So there are a lot of ways to get around this boss fight. Either I can respec my character into speech and talk Grandpa out of turning the robot on in the first place, or I respec into a hacking character and turn all the robot ads against the boss. But, to stay true to my psychotic dwarf persona who doesn't talk good or know how to type, I opt for the more tedious approach. Thankfully, there is a way to quick save scum this boss. All you have to do is stealth yourself out of combat in this fight and quick save. So, like a coward, I hide in this side room here until the robots forget I exist. Then I just go out and kill as many ads as I can, run back, hide, and quick save again. This still takes forever, by the way. Finally, I managed to kill all the ads, and down goes Mr. Robot Boy. At this point, the run is essentially over. All that is left is to kill Grandpa, but he's real squishy and has a whole host of old people diseases, so he goes down in one hit. Yay! We saved General Psycho, and we can finally kill the rest of the galaxy together, and inevitably have a falling out where one of us kills the other. I don't like your odds, lady. We did it! We beat Outer Worlds with only a shovel. And according to the narrator guide during the end credits, pretty much everyone who didn't die was frozen like the rest of the space vegetables, except for the rich people. So the moral of the story is this. If you're gonna live in space, you better bring a shovel. Thanks for watching, friends. I've been Judge Fudge. If you like this video, I've got a couple more on my channel where I cosplay as Cinderella and blow people up with ghost dogs. If you had as good of a time as I did, consider subscribing. I upload these videos as soon as they're done, so stay tuned for more. Bye!